Okay, well, some of you might have seen the instructional videos that steedcraft have got out showing how, or showing the things that you might be doing with their microfoundry. We've brought some of the things that we've made to show in one scene here. These little pendants are quite easy to do, and because they're starter jobs, they make the subject of the course that steedcraft offer. The start is in the mould, because the start of any casting operation really is to make a mould. Making the moulds can be quite tricky, so start by buying the mould. These are bought from Prince August as chess moulds. They're intended to make, obviously, chess pieces eventually. The mould has the wax injected. The wax comes out as a chessman. We borrow the knight's head, and you can see here the knight's head has been sprued onto a rubber sprue base there. Had a dangling ring added and a vent coming from the bottom of the sprue up onto the top of the ring to allow the air to clear at pouring time. There's a flask put over that. It's invested, and the investment will be melted out, burnt out, and we'll finish up with a flask and a bone dry hot investment ready to take the metal that's been melted in the microfoundry. When I said that it starts with a mould, making the wax is really the craft activity. The technology of copying the wax into metal we're presenting here. The tools we've made for you. The technique is well known and well practiced. The range of skills is to use whatever you need to, whether it's moulds, whether it's carving, whether you're machining the wax. Making the pattern is the artistic input. And you can see that there are other ways of making waxes. You can turn them. This one has been turned on an adaptation of the polishing machine, which we use for polishing the castings up. Simple, very cheap, very easy to do mod to the polisher, which allows you to turn the wax, which means that you can make your fluted ring copy of your simple mould, either size or style to suit a smaller finger. Going on to, still with simple moulds, the silver Tudor rose here, which makes a nice centerpiece for a brooch, for example, started with a wax poured or injected, better still injected, into a silicone sugarcraft mould, sort of thing that you put making sugar and put on a cake. We've pinched the artistic bit, made the wax, and copied it in silver. Again, anything that you can make in wax, you can reproduce in metal, or particularly in gold, silver, bronze or brass. Staying with moulding and the most delicate casting that steedcraft have made so far is the Amor ring. You can see it's a very delicate casting. It's as thin as we can go. It's as thin as you can wear, probably, because it's quite easily deformed. And it was made in a professional mould, a mould from K-Wax in California, USA. Professionally cut. You can see how intricate it is, and you can imagine how tricky it is to get the wax. Here's the wax that came out of the mould. Once you've got a good wax, you've cracked the job. Getting the wax out of the mould is the trick. And all these ring designs, whether they're the horoscope style signet ring, which I like very much. These are brass. These are bronze. This rose bronze, Roman bronze, is a plain bronze, 5% of tin in there. Very strong, very durable. Nice warm colour, my favourite metal. Or silver. Pisces on there is a sterling silver ring, and the silver carries the filigree work of the K-wax moulds very nicely. Getting heavier and heavier now. Again with K-wax moulds, the eagles. This the big fella. That's about as much as you want to carry on your finger. But you can see it is reproduced quite nicely from a beautiful wax. Again, the silver horse is quite a bulky ring, quite a lot of metal in it. Again, whatever detail you can work into the wax, you can see from these examples that it will be reproduced in the metal. Most of our castings are towards jewellery items, but within the capacity of the microfoundry, within its 50-gram limit, you can go to larger castings. It doesn't matter whether it's going to be a model or a piece of jewellery. And we've got here some model loco wheels. These model loco drivers are in 16mm gauge from lost wax casting. They can be in small flasks in sand castings, but at this gauge, the extra detail, the extra finesse in the casting is better using lost wax. Gauge 1 is the absolute maximum size for this system.